The Exchange of Innocence. Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there was a girl named Amara. She went to a large school where pupils came from all kinds of families, some rich, some poor, and some in between. Amara was different from the others, though not in the way people thought. She dressed simply and didn't like to talk much about her home life. Because of this, many pupils assumed she came from a poor family. They whispered behind her back, laughed at her shoes, and left her out of their games. But what no one knew was that Amara came from a very wealthy family. Her parents owned businesses, and she lived in a grand house on the hill. Still, she often watched her friend Innocence, a kind and gentle girl from a struggling family, and felt something was missing from her own life. One evening, Amara told her parents, "Mom, Dad, I want to know what it's like to live without all this comfort. I want to exchange lives with Innocence for a while." Her parents were shocked. "Why would you want to do that?" her mother asked gently. Amara smiled. "Because I want to understand life from another side, not from the top, but from the heart." After much discussion, Amara's parents met with Innocence's family. Both families agreed to the unusual idea. Innocence would live with the rich family, and Amara would live with the poor one, just for a short while. When Innocence arrived at the mansion, her eyes widened with joy. There was plenty of food, a warm bed, and no worries about the next meal. For the first time, she felt what it was like to live without fear. Meanwhile, Amara moved into Innocence's small home and enrolled in her school, the very same school where she used to be admired from afar. Dressed in simple clothes, she was no longer recognized. Many pupils sneered at her and called her names. But Amara did not cry. She held her head high, knowing she was learning something precious, what it meant to be treated unfairly for something beyond one's control. At the end of the first term, the school held an assembly. Amara stood before everyone and revealed the truth, who she really was, and why she had chosen to live as she did. The hall fell silent. Some pupils gasped, some felt ashamed, and others cried. Amara looked at them and said, "Kindness should never depend on how much someone owns. Love comes from within, not from wealth. Today someone may be poor, but with hard work, tomorrow can be different." From that day, the school changed. Pupils began treating one another with respect. Years later, the school started a charity to help struggling families. It was named after Amara, but she refused. "Name it after Innocence," she said. Being poor is not a fault. She was innocent, and so are many others who simply need a chance. The charity became one of the most generous in the country, and the story of Amara and Innocence was told to every new pupil as a lesson in empathy and equality. And so, both girls remained friends for life, one rich in wealth, the other rich in spirit, but both richer in heart.